Hello, my name is Vince Romo. I want to thank you for tuning in today. What this show is about, it's about barrio lifestyle, about being raised in the barrio, being from the barrio, the do's and the don'ts, the what's and the where's, the who's in the house. Welcome to Barrio Driven.
Today, I'm with Arturo Cuevas, also known as Lil One. Thank you, Carnal, for being here. Welcome to Barrio Driven. We're honored to have you. Before we get started, if you want to give the audience a quick, brief introduction, please do so.
All right, thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on here, inviting me here. Like Vince said, my name is Arturo. I come from South San Diego. On the streets, I was known as Lil One. And I'm one of the original people that started the American Bully movement back in from 1999, 2000. Even though American bullies have been around way before the term was created, that's one of the things that I ended up, that's my life now, is basically the dogs.
Right on, Carnal. Well, I want to thank you. That's where you're sitting is known as a hot seat. You know, not everybody wants to sit there. So thank you. And Carnal, tell me about your childhood.
So I grew up with both mom and dad in a good home with good families. I was blessed to, have learn from both sides. You know, my mom's side, I learned how to hunt. I learned about guns, weapons, more of the ranch life. My grandma had farm animals. I would go hunting and camping with my uncles and my grandfather. And then on my dad's side, my dad and his brothers, they were more like hustlers and city people.
Yeah.
So I learned that type of life. So I think, I was blessed, man. I was always around my family. And I learned a lot, I believe, growing up like that. So, and then when I was about 12, things changed, everything changed. Things change with time.
Of course. So you grew up, it's crazy as I was listening to you, you actually went hunting. You actually went out there with a rifle and went, what would you hunt?
Jackrabbits, rattlesnakes, and deers.
Wow.
Well, my uncles did and my grandfather. I was just there.
Rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh man, it was amazing, bro. We got bit almost one time. My cousin, Güero and Laura, we were there, and we were just playing by a rock, and we looked down and we seen the rattlesnake, so we all kind of froze, and then we called my uncle. My uncle came, he shot it, and we would eat it. They would eat it.
Yeah.
We would eat the deer. Nothing was really. It wasn't just to hunt. It was more of the lifestyle that my grandfather had and taught the family.
Wow, that's crazy. Even today, I've never been hunting in my life.
Oh man.
And so that must have been an experience being out there. But anyway, as you're saying that you grew up hunting half wilderness, half city life. So tell me about the city life. You told me that your Jefito's family, right?
Yeah.
They were hustlers.
So yeah, man, the interesting thing with me too is, so I come from, man, my bloodline, is on my mom's side, my grandfather comes from, I think 10, back then the families were big. It was 8 or 9, maybe 10 of them. And he was like the black sheep. He was like the from what my mom told me, but it made sense because he was distant from the rest of the family.
Yeah.
And then on my dad's side, it was the same thing. My grandfather, my dad's dad, was the same thing on his side. So they were both kind of the black sheep. So, and I say that only because, not that, that's the term they use, but really I believe both of my grandfathers I am like them. They just thought for themselves. and they just spoke their mind,
Yeah.
and didn't conform to everybody else's world. So
Yeah.
they were deemed the black sheep.
The black
but-
sheep of the family.
Right.
Now, what kind of things, I mean, did you see anything like growing up from, like, as you're saying hustlers, like what were they hustling? Were they like slanging? Were they were in the barrio? Were they like what?
So from what I know, from what I was told from my dad, because my grandfather, on my dad's side passed away before I was born, when my dad was 25. But my dad always spoke about him, and my dad, like, what my dad didn't know as, like, you know, let's say like on my mom's side, it's the more typical Mexicanos, like my uncles could fix anything.
Yeah.
They could do almost anything. They're real, you know, and my dad didn't know how to do that, but what my dad did know how to do, that my grandfather taught him, was more like the bar life, the street life.
Yeah.
And so my dad, it's crazy, bro, but my dad is like he's a master pool player, ping pong, golf, like all these other like card players. So
Yeah.
he lived in Vegas.
Really?
So my dad he was a pool shark. He would do things like that, like in his life. Told me,
Yeah.
you know, not his whole life, but in stages. And he taught me that as a kid, growing up by the beach. You know, I grew up with a ping pong table. I grew up, you know, with a pool table, and so.
So he was making feria basically by the cards, the pool, being a pool
All that
shark.
lifestyle, you know,
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
betting, gambling, all those
All
types. But
that.
mainly gambling back then was the majority of the hustle.
So it sounds like you really didn't come from that bad of a family. Am I correct?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. No.
Okay, that's good, man. You know, it's but I mean, just because we come from a good family doesn't, because I came from a decent family as well, but we all make our own choices.
Yeah.
At what age did you start going astray, or not? Did you start finding yourself, attracted to the barrio lifestyle?
Between 7th and 8th grade, so I think it was like 14.
13, 14
13
years
or
old.
14.
Yeah.
At that point, my tios were cholos. My tios on my mom's side were cholos, but they, it wasn't a lifestyle taught to me or encouraged to me. I was around it, but that's what they did. It was never pushed on me. They actually, of course, my dad didn't want me to be a cholo. My parents didn't want me to follow in that footsteps. So I was a skater. I was a normal kid. I played soccer, but what happened is 7th grade, that's when parties start.
Yeah.
So we started going to parties.
Yeah.
House parties back then were big. And I got jumped at one party, then I got jumped at another one, and I made the wrong decision of seeking retaliation and just joining the lifestyle instead of turning away and just,
Well, it's hard, carnal. A lot of times people don't understand, the sense that what we feel to belong, As you're hearing Arturo, we want to belong to something in life. And it's like the homies, they make us feel love, carnal. And you're being jumped, and why, not only once, but twice. Why'd you get jumped, carnal?
From what I remember, it was just wrong place, wrong time. The first time we were heading home, and somebody said something, and the guys were drunk. And I remember this clearly because the sober guy was trying to stop them because these dudes were already older guys, like 19 years old, 20 years old.
And you're 13, 14.
And we're like 13, 14, bro.
Yeah.
And they're taking off. They took off only on a few of us because the other homies ran. And then I think maybe more than one or two. This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I do remember that they weren't all jumping us. They were saying, hey, these guys are kids. But the guys that were drunk, they were already
They didn't
just
care.
taking
They just
off
were bombing
us,
on
bro.
you guys, yeah.
So that was the first time I was like, okay, whatever. But then a month later, same thing. These dudes get in a fight. They take off. We're just kind of standing by with our skateboards. And then I think really they were just looking for victims at that point, bro.
Really?
And then I got jumped the second time. And then that's when more people that I knew started getting into neighborhoods. And I ended up, joining a clica eventually.
How old were you when you first got into the barrio, and what barrio were you from?
I was actually, I would say a little bit older. You know, most people get in at 13,
Yeah,
12,
14,
13,
yeah.
you know. I was, I think, 15, almost going on 16, when I got into Iris Avenue.
How did it make you feel, Kanan, when you first got into your barrio?
Oh, man. It's, you know, like you said, man,
Yeah.
you feel like a belonging, like you
Belonging,
actually
like
got
that,
a family, you
like
know?
your familia. Yeah, Simon. Um, when you first got into your neighborhood, and so you're 15, almost 16. What was required of you, Kanan, at that age, to to be a part of a neighborhood? Like, what things were you required to do? What would, like, what it consists of?
Yeah, I
Kanan?
remember before I even got jumped in, you know, they wanted to see
Your cora, your
what
heart.
it was about, you know.
Yeah,
So
Simon.
yeah, I had to put in some work.
Some work, yeah.
I had to get down with somebody.
Yeah.
And then I think I got down with two of the homies, and then I still got jumped in.
So you're already starting at this young age, 15, 16 years old, to go out there, put in work, and getting down with the enemies from the. How were you feeling at that point? Like, were you feeling that you made the right decision? Were you feeling like, hey, I found the answer? Or were you starting to maybe this isn't feed me after all? Or where were you at at that point?
Oh man, when I got into to gangbanging, for the most part, it became a part of me, regardless, no matter where
Yeah.
I was at, you know.
You were all in, Holmes.
I was all in.
You were all in. This is who you are now.
I've never denied, you know,
Yeah.
my hood or anything, and being a cholo, you know, just becoming a cholo, period, you know, was disappointing, of course, to my family, to my dad, you know. I apologize to my dad, but hey, I became who I am, you know.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And I mean, you know, like I said, even when I turned to the Lord,
Yeah.
I've never ever turned any of my homeboys away. My house was the dope spot when I wasn't saved, and
Yeah.
it was still the spot when I got
When
saved.
you started going to church.
They could still come to me for whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
They couldn't come to me for all the bad things anymore, but they could come to me for
yeah.
anything else.
But now you didn't start going to church till like way after, correct?
And
we'll get there. We'll get there.
yeah.
Though. Okay.
But no, it's actually so when I got introduced to the Lord was because of a drive-by. So they did a drive-by on my house, and man, if I found out years later, because it was somebody I grew up with, he just, all he had to do was ask me. He just heard it was me, that I did something to his house, and he blasted out my pad, bro. And so of course my jefita got scared. She sent me to Oceanside. So I went to Oceanside High for a few months in 1988, which that's when it was cracking right there también. It was crazy right there, bro.
So, Kernan, you're a youngster out there, and they shoot up the house. How many times did they hit the house?
It was 5 rounds. 2 hit like this brick that was like going to the second house, but 3 went into the house, bro. And my mom had like a hair salon in the garage that my grandfather built. And man, if somebody would have been sitting right there, like it went right through the window where their head would have been at.
Yeah.
And I mean, they could have hit somebody. And I was mad, of course, bro.
How did your Fita feel knowing that her house was just shot up?
Oh man, that was like, you know what's crazy, man, is my mom's so forgiving. My mom never testified. She told them that she forgave him because he was my friend too. It was somebody I went to school with.
So somebody that you went to school with shot your house?
Yeah, bro. Because
Why
I found out later. So check this out. Fast forward, man, I think it's like 15, 20 years later. Let's see, yeah, maybe like 15 years later, I pull up in the gas station with my son. He's like, I think 9, 10 years old, my oldest. And there's this dude just staring at me. And so I do a double take, and he's looking at me, and then I recognize it was him. It was the guy who shot my house, and he's tripping, bro. And so I start looking at him, but then the guy he's with knows me. And he goes, hey, fool, he goes, man, I'll slap you, bro. You better kick back. What's wrong with you? And so he comes over to me, and then we explain it, and he tells the dude, like, bro, you better pump your brakes. So then that happens, and then I don't see him. Fast forward like a year or two later, I'm in church, and he comes into church. And we finally got to talk. And he apologized to me. And I said, bro, why did you shoot at my house? He's like, bro, they somebody, I don't know what they did. They got some sap. They did something, and they what do you call it? Like, they damaged his house. Like they poured some stuff and ruined like the paint, the door. They did something bad to his house. Yeah. He thought it was me, and without asking me or anything, they broke into another friend that we knew's house who had guns. Took all the guns, and they just went on a spree. They didn't just shoot at my house, bro. They shot up like 5 pads.
Oh, wow.
They went just blasting. And luckily, they didn't kill anybody. They just scared a lot of people and messed up a lot of people's lives. That's for real, and including themselves. You know, and then at that point, I tried to get his brother, and then I ended up letting it go, and his brother was cool with us. And then I knew his little brother was cool with my brother, and I knew his sister. Like I said, he was my friend. Yeah. So it was one of those things. That was something tough to deal with. But yeah, it scared my mom, scared the family. I got sent to Oceanside, and
so because of that, you got sent to Oceanside.
Yeah. So
you mentioned earlier that it was real crazy in Oceanside. What was so like
Oceanside High at the time? Well, at the time it was, you know, the height of gangbanging. Like, I just remember the dudes from, you know, Pozole. They were man, 50, 60 plus. They were just deep. And the Samoans, that was when that Samoan Oceanside team had just started their like winning streak. So they used to, it was just I think it was a good time to be there, but it was just a lot of stuff going on, bro. A lot of gangbanging, a lot of, still there was like the break dancing was kind of fading out into the gangbanging. And, but it was an experience, man. I remember I had to take the bus. I never took the bus in my life. So I took the bus from the Valley to Oceanside High, and then I was in ROP. So I went to Vista, to San Marcos. So, you know, honestly, man, it allowed me to meet people from all different places and experience San Diego, and see San Diego's a little bit bigger. I never knew there was a hood in Carlsbad and South Oceanside and Center Street and Mesa, and there's a whole bunch, bro. There's a lot, you know?
How many times when you first got there, you think you got hit up?
Oh man, a lot, bro. And even I think even just I was there. That's the thing. I'd have to ask my tia. I don't remember if I was there 3 months or 6 months. But yeah, being an outsider, man, I would stand out. You know, after a while, I think after like 3 or 4 months. But it's constantly just where you from, who are you, why, you know? Because I definitely look different, you know.
Well, yeah, you're a homeboy.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know what hit up means, is there someone like from a gang sees him, sees Arturo, sees that, man, you know what, he's a homeboy, just by looking at him can tell. They're gonna ask him what neighborhood he's from. That's what hit up means for those, because, you know, our audience is people watch us from, you know, the UK, all over, just in case.
Yeah.
So I wanted to clarify that. What kind of things did you see when you?
So when I was there, I was one of the only people from South San Diego, and I remember I actually hung out with this girl from Chicago, because being that we were more from a bigger city, you know, we just clicked. And I remember we would talk and kind of, you know, and I met people from there too. I met friends from Pozole, from Samoan Bloods, from all the different barrios and gangs that were there. Everybody was, you know, showed me love, because I wasn't a threat to them or an enemy. I'm from far away, you know. And but I was there, when I was there, my tío was working in Tustin, and my tío had just received the Lord. So he led me to the Lord, but because it was just a quick prayer and I didn't really, you know, we went our separate ways. When I came back to the neighborhood a few months back, I was only able to like stay solid for a month or two, and then I just fell right back into, you know. So I pretty much received the Lord, but I didn't start serving him, or it didn't really make a big change in my life. But I do remember when I would go to Juvie after that, I would read my Bible. Like, it did make a difference. I did accept them at that point. I believe I believe I truly did at that point.
So we're at 15, 16 years old, and you're gang banging, carnal. You're out there, you're putting in work, you're a proud gang member. You know what I'm saying? How old were you when you first got busted and ended up going to juvenile hall? And what did you go to juvie for?
So right after that, so it was like, that happened, right? I got sent back from Oceanside back down to my neighborhood. Got into the neighborhood, started going straight to juvie. When I went to school, so I got sent to, I got kicked out of my school for fighting. I went to continuation school, which is a school called Palomar, which is like, you know, where all the gang members go, everybody goes. So of course, the first day, I see one of the vatos from the clica that shot at my pad. So I took off on him. And I got away, but what happened is I had a scab on my elbow from some other fight. He peeled the scab because I dropped him, and then when I was hitting him, he peeled the scab. And when I was walking away, the lady saw my arm bleeding. She grabbed me, and that was the first time. And you know, once you go in, bro, they just take you for anything. After that, you go in all the time. So I went in just for fighting, and then as a juvenile, I went in for, you know, almost everything. But the most serious offenses was 245, assault with a deadly weapon, and grand theft auto.
When you were in juvenile hall, what things did you see there when you were locked up?
Man, I seen that. You know, again, I thank God, and I've been blessed my whole life because I seen that it could be really bad for some people. You know, some people really got beatings, man.
Describe, what was the worst thing that you seen, carnal?
I didn't see it, bro, but I just heard it, bro. You know, enemigas being put together, and the way juvie was back then before they remodeled it, they were old little rooms with little tiny windows, and you know, you had to buzz and wait for the staff to come, bro, and there's long hallways. So if you're getting down with your roommate, it could be a long fight.
A long time.
They don't hear you. And I seen this dude come out with his eye like split like perfectly like this, busted, like you can get stomped, bro.
Yeah.
And I remember in 700, me and my homeboy Cricket, we were the smallest dudes. You know, I stopped growing, I think, at 6th grade, bro. And we were the smallest dudes in 700. In San Diego, the way it was 100 was like the murderers and people doing life and stuff like that. And then 700 was like 17 or serious charges or bigger, like you were like a bigger size, but mainly the age. Because then I think 900 was like 15, 16. And so at the time we were both 17, but we were like the smallest vatos in that unit. Everybody in there was just a lot bigger than us, but that's just how it was.
That's how it was. So yeah, if you're getting down, it's like, or if you're getting stomped out, it could be, you know.
I think with me, bro, after I got jumped, I think because I got jumped twice before I got in, after that, to be honest with you, I wasn't scared anymore, bro. So to me, getting in a fight wasn't that big.
Wasn't a big deal.
You know, I wasn't a big peleonero, but I was never afraid to get down.
To get down. I mean? You know what? One thing that I've told people on our show as well, when you get into the neighborhood or when you get out there and, you know what I'm saying, like the first time you held a strap. Well, let me ask you that. How did it feel? What did you feel? And I ask everyone that sits there, how did it make you feel the first time that you held a firearm in your hands?
So, man, going back to what I was saying earlier about learning about hunting and guns, I believe if everybody learned about it, it'd be different. Because I know me, I respected guns. Being taught as a little kid, you know, I got pictures since I'm small, with rifles and weapons, you know. So I was always taught to respect it. I was always taught you only pull it out if you're gonna use it. If you ain't gonna use it, don't even show it. Don't pull it out. You know what I'm saying? So I never did, bro. I only felt one time. We got blasted at one time, and we did have guns back then. You know, people.
Of course.
All neighborhoods had weapons,
yeah.
And I was like, that was the only time I wanted to get one, and and actually shoot at somebody, but the
Yeah.
homies, they wouldn't let me, and it's just is what it is. But yeah, I think that having respect for the guns like that, I wasn't careless, because back then everybody was just shooting, you know.
Yeah, everybody was. Back in the 90s, carnal, for those of you that don't know, the 90s was a very tough period for any barrio. It was violent, man. It was violent, man. People were dropping left and right like flies. So you're in juvie. How old were you when you got out?
So I got out when so I ended up going in and out of juvie, doing weekends, doing 2 months here, 3 months there. My longest time in was almost a whole year. I went in 1991 in January, and I didn't get out till December. And that was the last time. That was right before I turned 18. So yeah, I was 17. I only had like a month left. And I remember I went down to my neighborhood, and we got the detectives, the police stopped us, and I gave a fake name, and then detective pulled up, and he ended up taking pictures, and I was high. He was like, so I was supposed to go to YA, but my PO gave me a quebrada, and she just, you know, she's like,
Yeah.
you know what, you're turning 18. She probably figured I would go to prison. So
Yeah.
she let me get off, and again, man, I thank God that I never graduated to the pen or to YA. I stayed just juvie and Campo.
Yeah.
So when I got out, I got released from Campo, from YBC.
When you were in there, carnal, well, let me see. You're getting out, so when you come out, did you still have that desire to go out there and gangbang, carnal? Did you still have that desire to, like, hey, homie, stop dead. You just did your tempo, you did a year, you're coming out now, and you say, hey, homes, you know what? You're gonna go back to your barrio, hey, homes, this is who you are now. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, Holmes, you're a gang member, Holmes. You know what I'm saying? Just it is what it is. You made that choice. It's who you are. You know, did you regret, carnal? Did you say, like, man, Holmes, I just did a year, or took a year of my life, man? Or did you say, hey, sabes qué? Hey, I'm ready to go back to my barrio. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go see my homeboys. You know, we're gonna do whatever it is that we do.
It's that's a good question, man. And at the time, like, I remember I hated doing time. So that's one thing, you know. Of course, nobody likes doing time, but I really, really didn't like, you know, being told what to do.
Yeah.
You know, what do you call that?
Doesn't feel good, huh?
Having to use the restroom while not only just a person is watching you, but female staff.
Yeah.
You know, having to shower in front of female staff, things that you would never imagine in your mind you got to go through just because of the decisions that you make. You know, so, and not just that, you know, I was, of course, living the fast life ahead of my time, doing things I wasn't supposed to do. So I was already into women. So I already was like, man, I need my hyena, I need a lady. I don't want to be sleeping with these vatos. Bro, at that time we were 4-2 a cell.
Oh man.
We were 4-2, so 2 dudes on a flat mat and 2 on the bunk.
2 on the bunk.
And they were mixing races. That's why it was bad.
They were mixing races.
Yeah, bro. And 700, and the units back then were like, I don't know how they do it in LA or up there, but back then it was 700 was known at that time. I was there as a black unit because most of the staff was black. So the blacks had a lot of juice. And then 900, like the paisas and the homies, and I think the paisas that were 500, and of course they had, you know, raza, you'd get more juice over there, and I think 900 maybe had a mixture, and the staff, they were cool with the raza. They weren't racist to us. From what I remember, I didn't experience none of that.
That must have, man, that.
But mixing races,
homie,
bro.
That's tough. You know, for those of you that are watching us, in California, we're very segregated. As he'll tell you, you know, we're not, you know, the blacks and the Mexicans. We're not, you know, the raza. We're not just, you know, chilling and, you know, breaking bread. We're very segregated. The whites are like, you know, we're all separated. So to hear that they put you all guys together, that's pretty crazy, carnal. You know. And
then San Diego, it is a little different, even back then, because there are a few big neighborhoods that coexist where the raza and the brothers live together. So for the most part, they're cool. So it kind of would be like that there también. But, you know, regardless of even if you're not from anywhere, and even with your own raza, 4 people in a cell, long enough time, like we only come out to eat, bro. We only come out, you know, and then there's always pride. Then you start joking around. You know, it's like, man, and with me, bro, I believe, again, man, I've had a blessed life. I can't say it. I can't say it enough that, you know, I thank God I've been really blessed. But, you know, when I was in Juvie and in Campo, like, for example, I just learned a lot, bro, a lot more than I believe I would have learned, because there was vatos that, I don't know what program they were doing, but there was two dudes that I was with that had already been to Preston, and these dudes were already swole, bro, big, tatted, brochas, and you know, we clicked, we got along well, and they gave me a lot of clecha, and again, homies from San Diego too that were here that I got along with well, but you know, none of us had even hit YA yet. Yeah, these dudes, I think it was some one last chance before they got sent away, or maybe they just did their 90-day ops. I don't remember, but I just remember that they were both from the 805 area, and those dudes were all swole, bro. Wow. And anyways, and then there was a lot from Riverside and from LA, and you know, they're just back then, like you said, the racism was a lot different. Like you get the neighborhoods are a lot different, you know, and not that it didn't happen in San Diego, of course, but for the most part, we've always been able to coexist. You know what I'm saying?
And as you were saying that, you know, you're having a shower with all the other inmates, and you know, you're having the guards over watch you. Yeah, talk to us when the first time that happened.
Bro, I remember even just the first time going in, you know, the first time you got to get processed. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's humiliating, bro. You know what I mean? And then when you go into juvie, at least back then, if they had what they call an 80 worker that will give you your stuff. Yeah. And if, you know, of course they hit you up. Where you from? And if you were an enemy, bro, they're gonna give you a gacho roll. Yeah. With underwear's all dirty or everything's all, you know, so, or maybe they'll just give it to you just to be gacho, you know, but things like that too could, you know, would happen back then. But really, yeah, I mean, it's just all the way around. When you first go in, it's you know, I ain't gonna lie, it's like the first time, of course, like it's the anxiety of not knowing what's next. Once you go the first time, then hey, everything's cool. But it's embarrassing, bro. Yeah.
When you got out, how was your heart? Were you angry?
So in my mind, you know, like I was saying, I hated being locked up. I hated all those things. So in my mind, like, I just wanted to go home. I did not want to come back. But you know, it's crazy because I know everybody says the same thing. But then once I hit the street,
of course,
and I got all this attention, and man, the homies are at the pad every day, and you know what I mean. Like, and then I'm like, because when I got out originally, I was still on house arrest, and I had the beeper and all that, so I couldn't really do much. And then when I finally hit the street, man, I was like super gangbanger. Yeah, but I was like hitting everybody up, you know. Yeah. And then I think after about a week or two, I kind of was like, man, what are you doing? Like, chill out, calm down.
Yeah, you can end up getting busted again.
Yeah, I think I remember, like, I don't know what it was, man, but I just chilled out, and then I just started working, and I just started working right away, bro.
Calming down a little bit. Yeah. So you're 18 years old now, you know, 18, 19. Where were you working at?
Man, so my brother, JR, him and his family, they took me in, bro. So when I got out, they took me in, and I started working with his mom's, rest in peace, downtown, bro, micrographics. So check this out. It was 1992, and I was making like, I think $13 an hour or 16. It was good money, bro.
That's good, homie.
Weekly. For an 18-year-old, bro. Me and the homie, I ended up getting a Cutlass, and my other homie, he passed away too. He had a Regal. we would go every week to Mario's and buy Ben Davis suits. And so I was sporting Ben Davis suits. Like we were doing really well,
You were
man.
doing well.
At 18, I was blessed, bro. I was
Yeah,
blessed.
13 years old. I mean, at $13 an hour, that's good.
Back
homie,
then
you
was
know?
really good money.
Yeah, that's real good feria back then. So you're making all this feria, you're working now. Where'd you mess up, carnal?
Pride, bro. So I meet my ex-wife, you know, we get together, but you know, like, and I think we was only there 6 months, but you know, back then, when you're young, that seems like a long time, or maybe we were there a year, I don't remember. But one day, I don't remember, the boss was an old Marine, Vietnam vet dude, and he was hardcore too, and we got into an argument, and we were just like, you know what? Forget this vato, huh? Let's
Yeah.
go. And we quit, bro. We put one of those.
Serio?
We quit, and we were like, we'll get a better job.
Right there and then.
Yeah, we walked away, dog. But I remember he disrespected us somehow. But come on, bro. It was a dumb decision, you know.
And you know what? As you said about pride, you know, our culture, the way we're brought up, carnal, we have a lot of pride, Holmes. We have our gente. That's what we're taught. You know, when we're in the barrio, we're in the streets, we're taught to have that. When you're wherever the case may be, we carry ourselves with a lot of pride, Holmes. We hold our head up high. And sometimes it bites us, Holmes. Sometimes it bites us in the ass, as you said, you know, that pride. And you're like, well, F you, boss, I was sketch, I'm done, homie. You know what I'm saying? And you guys quit. You lost your jale. So you lose your job. While you quit, you didn't lose your job.
Yeah,
You
bro.
left the job.
Man.
What happens next?
So I went from that to having to do labor. I think I just started looking for any kind of work at that time.
Anything.
Yeah.
You, from being in the barrio and being, you know, in the neighborhood, a lot of the homeboys, well, the majority, have a lot of tats. I see you have a lot of tats on you, carnal. You want to elaborate on a few, carnal? What do you have on you? Who is that?
Well, this one is my youngest son, Victor, with one of my dogs, Spanky, when he was a pup. And I think Victor was like almost 2 in that picture.
It's beautiful artwork, carnal.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Who's Yolanda?
And Yolanda, that's my mom. So that was one of my first tattoos. I got my mom's name and then my daughter's name, which that one hasn't been redone. It's you could barely read it.
Yeah.
And then the SD on my forearms,
You got your SD,
all at the same time, yeah.
Diego, you
Yes,
know,
sir.
San Diego. What, who's that right there? Carnal, I wanted to focus.
Oh, that's my homeboy Shorty Local. He passed away back in 2011.
What happened to Shorty?
Man, Shorty, he OD'd, bro.
He OD'd.
Yeah.
How many homeboys would you say that you have or that you knew that has passed away from OD?
Man, that I knew personally, maybe 5 or 6, but you know, I've heard of more, but that I knew myself, like 5.
Let me ask you, Kernan, being in the lifestyle, you know, that we've come from, drugs play a big part of our life. Have you ever had any substance abuse issues that you've struggled with?
No, man. I've always, you know, of course, as a teenager, I tried everything, but I never did anything with needles or never did anything heavy.
Yeah.
Nah, I never liked that, bro. I never really liked even drinking, you know. I was telling my nephews the other day, the only time I ever got my face busted open was because I was drunk in public, and I told myself I'll never be out of my self-control ever again.
Ever again.
That's the only time. And because, you know, they were going to go out and party, and I'm like, you know, with alcohol, it's tricky. You could feel fine in 1 minute, and the next
then,
minute,
boom, it hits you.
it hits you, and
Yeah.
no matter who it is, you're going to be, if you're not in complete control of your body, I just didn't like that. So anyway, I don't drink, I was only into smoking, you know, the green. You know?
Yeska?
Yeah.
I noticed, how many tats do you have? Would you be willing to take your shirt off to show us a few more of your tats, Colonel, or lift up your sleeves?
Yeah, for sure.
You got Southtown on you. What is that? What does that represent, Colonel?
So Southtown, originally was Southtown Pits. That's my kennel.
Yeah.
I started that in 2000 when I got into Paper Dogs.
Paper Dogs.
Yeah.
What does it say across your chest, if you don't mind me?
It's a Marvin Gaye song, If I Should Die Tonight.
Wow. Why would you get that tatted on you, Kanan?
The song, have you heard the song?
I haven't, Kanan.
So the song, man, it's If I Should Die Tonight, he's singing and saying that he's had such a blessed life that he won't die blue.
Wow. That's heavy.
Because,
That's heavy.
you know, I won't die blue because I've known you. And so it's a song that, for my kids.
For
you
your
know,
kids.
For those, anybody that I love, you know?
If you don't mind me, I saw, if you could maybe to the side, could you on your side?
This one?
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing, Kanan. You have your Southtown, you have your Khalifa. Wow, West Coast. And you got the strap. That's beautiful artwork, Kanan. That's beautiful artwork, homie.
Thank you, bro. That's done by Bugs. Rest in peace, man.
Well, he passed away.
Yeah, he passed away. I think it's gonna be going on 2 years.
Wow, we're gonna talk about how he passed. Let me see what else you got in the back here. You got the bully, the SSD. You got your Angelita.
That's my daughter.
Your hija.
So
That's beautiful artwork. That tattoo represents her.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me see. Continue on, Kana. Let me
Yeah.
see. We got the Sureño. We got the 13, which basically Southsider. You know what I'm saying? You got the SD on your arms. You have a lot of great ink on you, Kana.
I got ink done by Flox, by Checho.
Yeah.
This was done by Jaime Ruiz, Black Sheep. Mike Surratt, he did my chest. He used to be the owner of Superfly.
You got a lot of. You could put your shirt on now if you like.
Thank you,
Can I
brother.
thank you for being willing. We appreciate everybody that shares the ink with us, because as we know, the ink tells a story, Kana. You know, sometimes, you know, people, we just don't get ink to like just say, okay, we're gonna get ink. Ink it's a part of our life, and it tells our story, it tells our life. Is there any ink on you that you regret, Kana?
No,
Nothing.
not at all. No, I believe all my tattoos, you know, I've got them for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's what tattoos should be, you know? They shouldn't
Exactly.
be for
Just to.
as a fad, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool to get a fun tattoo.
Yeah,
but, but you know,
It should mean something. They should have meaning.
if you're gonna mark your body,
Exactly.
have it, you know,
Means something.
have it mean something.
You know. I asked you if you had any regrets on tattoos. You said no. Do you have any regrets in your life, Kernan? And if you do, what are they?
Yeah, I would say maybe only two that I could think of. One would be not joining the Marines. I really no, let's say three. So not playing sports in high school and doing all the high school things, because that's another thing that, you know, for those of you youngsters out there, there's a lot of things in life you can redo, but high school you can't redo. You can't go back and you know, so I blew it, man, because I did go to a few dances and all that ended when I started gangbanging. So that's one regret, you know, messing up in high school and then not joining the Marines for at least 4 years and just doing it. You know, my uncle was a Marine and my brother, you know, the third thing would be just not focusing enough time on my ex-wife and kids at the time. Mainly my kids, though. You know, even though I was doing, working and doing everything I was supposed to do as a man and providing, and even when they'd be asleep, Vince, like, they don't know this, of course, but when they'd be asleep, so I'd split my day into 3 days. I'd get up super early, deal with the dogs, deal with the family, go to work, and then when they were asleep, I would do my thing. You know, either with the dogs, with pedigrees, online, whatever, but I would always go to the room and pray over them or just look at them and be like, man, I'm blessed, and appreciate the moment. Yeah. But I wish I would have spent more time physically with them and a little bit more involved.
Do you think if you would have played sports or been a Marine, your life would have been different or
Oh, definitely, definitely. Possibly. I mean, not too much, but you know.
Would have been different.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the regrets that I have as well. We regret spending that time with our families. And time is one thing that we can't get back. Once it's gone, carnal. Um, so those are your regrets. Let me ask you, is there anyone in your life that if you could bring back or if you could spend time with, just even for 10 minutes, who would it be and why?
Bring them back for 10 minutes. Man, that's a good question. I've lost a lot of good people, so I don't know. I would say probably if I had to choose immediately, probably my grandfather.
Your grandfather,
My mom's dad.
mom's dad.
Yeah.
You were close to him.
Yeah, yeah.
At what age did he pass?
He passed.
And your age?
Oh, I was. Let's see. It's been I think 12 or 13 years. So I was like 38,
38.
39.
It'd be him.
So I was blessed to have him in my whole life, most of my life. But yeah, and you know, just when you get older,
Yeah.
like I just look back. I'm like, man, I want, you know.
Is there a homeboy who is gone that brings you a deep pain that maybe, you know, maybe you could have did something different. Maybe I did this, maybe I did that. Is there a homeboy that today and that you'll know forever that really pains your heart that is no longer here?
Yeah, my friend Sean Toothman, the one that I have tattooed on my armor here.
What happened to him? Wait, he OD'd, right? You told me that?
Yeah, he OD'd, but
Tell me about that night. Tell me about the day when he passed.
All right, so I remember because at the time I was still doing animal control. I was working for the city, and he lived by the beach, and that's where I was working at the time. And I seen he was still on parole. So my boy Shorty, he did 13 years, 5 and then 7. But he had been out already a couple years. He was still on parole. And I see the sheriff in front of his house, and I'm like, man, what did this dude do? Did he because he was still a hothead. Like, he's still, if you disrespected him, it was on sight. He would just bomb on you. Yeah. So, I'm like, what did this guy do? He hit somebody, something minor, whatever. And I get there, and the deputy's in the car. And then I was like, his name was Lisariga, I remember. Lisariga, what's up? And then he's like, you know the guy in there? And I was like, yeah. And then I could hear on the radio, deceased, Sean Toothman, da-da-da-da-da. And they start giving all the info. And then I was like, I still wasn't registering, right? And then and he goes, you know this guy? And I go, yeah, it's my best friend. He was like, I'm sorry, bro. And I said, what do you mean you're sorry? I said, I'm going to go inside. He's like, go ahead. So I go inside, bro, and he, whoever he was with, he was, man, he didn't OD out of depression, bro. He was gonna go, I was gonna drop him off the next day at the airport to go spend a week with his mom. He was doing great in life. He was doing really good. I don't know who showed up, that they took 2 shots, they drank 2 beers, they did a fix, and then whoever was there left, bro. And I think he did it Pinta style because there was nothing there. Like, he flushed it as soon as he finished because he was in the doorway. You know how there's the bathroom and then there's a doorway to like the hallway? He was right in the middle. So he was obviously either in front of the sink or the toilet, and he was laying on his back. And you could, when you OD, it was the like liquid this way, vomit this way, and he was kind of red. And I was just like, what the fuck? It was surreal, bro. It was surreal. It was like, it wasn't like happening, But the one thing I regret is when he really needed me. Like, I was there for him 6 months before he passed and all that. But I truly believe, and I didn't realize it until he passed, that the times that when he was going through it with his lady, and I was still married at the time. And see, this was man, I like. See, you could tell I really regret this because he would call me to like, hey, bro, and see, just to be there for him, like, hey, come to the bar and chill with me. But because I didn't drink, because I wasn't man enough straight up to tell my wife, you know what, I'm gonna go chill with my homeboy. I gotta be there for him. Because of that, I never went, bro. Not one time.
Wow.
So that I always look back and be like, damn, I didn't even, like, we had a beer together, we drank at Mardi Gras and we got to chill, but this was after he lost his lady. And I'm thinking back, and and this is another thing I just want to say too. You know, and I put that out as advice to people, as to men and to the wives if you're listening. Of course, you don't want your man to be dragged into anything by their friends, but this was just to be there for him. He wasn't calling me to a strip club. He wasn't calling me to do anything other than just be there and hear him out. And I did that for a friend recently. But, you know, those are things that I don't wish that regret on anybody, because I really feel like I let him down as a brother.
Yeah.
You know?
You were saying that there was somebody there with him, but you don't know who, right? They don't know who's there with him. Do you don't think they gave him, and our condolences to you, brother, and our condolences to his family, if you're watching. You don't think they gave him a hot one, Kernan?
There was a lot of...
Because the only reason why I said is because you were telling me that he was doing good. He was leaving the next day to go visit his mom. Like, who would, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah, bro, you know, the crazy part is that, like, he stopped communicating that evening. And I think whoever showed up, but he was already in a tank top and, like, his shorts, bro. So he was chilling already to go to sleep. So whoever showed up, they showed up, looks like unexpectedly or just late at night. And it was like something fast. But, you know, man, it was a lot. It was crazy, bro. It was crazy, like, the way it happened and some of the rumors that were going around. But the people that we believe, or the person that we believe was there, passed away recently in a very, very, I heard, a very painful manner, got some kind of sickness or whatever. So even if it was, you know, karma took care of itself, you know, life takes care of itself. And yeah, believe me, you know, like, I went through all kinds of, you know, mind games and mind battles.
Did you have any hate in your heart when that happened? Since you're losing your best camarada, you're losing your best, was there any, like, man, I'm gonna go avenge my homeboy, I'm gonna go kill somebody? Did you ever feel that?
Definitely. He was really close to my daughter, you know. It really hurt my family. And no, definitely, man. Like I said, the mind games, different thoughts, but oh man, that's something I believe I've always been able to, you know, kind of control in a sense.
Would you say, is it safe to say that the reason that you didn't be your family?
Oh yeah. I knew that, like I was saying, man, being taught, you know, don't pull a gun out unless you're really gonna use it. It's kind of like, I'd rather just not pull it out, because if I pull it out, I'm gonna use it, and I know what's gonna happen, and ultimately that's not what he would want. So what I ended up doing is, even though, like, man, it was so hard because his ex-lady really did him dirty, but he loved her, and because he loved her and treated her that way, I know how he would want me to conduct myself with her. So I had to be that person, and that was tough too, bro. No. And what do you call that? Yeah, it's a story in itself, bro. Because so check this out. He passes away. He never makes it to the mom, right? He passed away February 23rd. His birthday is March 6th. So we all get together, all the homies, and we're chilling, celebrating. And then his brother calls me, crying and screaming. The mom died of a heart attack on his birthday, bro.
Oh man.
So the homie sees my face drop, and he's like, "Hey, what's wrong, Arturo?" I said, "Man, Mary passed away."
Man.
Nah, man. So it was crazy, bro.
Our condolences.
It was heartbreaking. Yeah, Mary Toothman.
Man, good man. You know what? When we lose those that that mean the most to us. Honestly, the reality is that we're never the same, carnal, because each homeboy or each person that we lose, homegirl, they take a piece of us because all the memories that we shared, just like family, they become family. So, where are you at in life now, carnal?
Man, right now, oh man, I believe I'm in the best place in life, man. I feel really free. I feel like, I appreciate. I believe those losses have taught me appreciation, even though I always had it. But there's levels to it, and appreciating the things that really matter,
Yeah.
and
Well,
that's like relationships and not material things.
what really matters in life now, carnal?
Well, first of all, would be my kids, my children. They mean the most to me. We're not on the best terms right now, but if it were up to me, we would be. So,
What's going on with your children?
oh man, to be honest with you, a situation happened which I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But my daughter got upset with me, and her and my boys are really close, so they're a little bit upset with dad right now. So
If there's anything that you would like to tell your kids, because I'm sure we have no doubt that they'll see this, look into that camera and tell them.
I just want to say to my kids, Angel, Arturo, and Victor, I apologize for everything and anything that has hurt you ever. So I love you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys again. So hopefully that's coming soon. Love you guys. I'm always here.
That's good, Granada, You're getting emotional because I'm hearing you and seeing you. You love your kids. And, if you didn't, you wouldn't have poured your heart out right now. And I know that's not easy.
Yeah.
Especially, coming from where we come from. It's not easy. But you know what? I'll tell you this. It means the world to our kids. When we put those walls down and we're able to say, hey, you know what? Dad loves you, And I'm going to be praying for you, Karna.
Yeah, thank you.
That God will heal that relationship with your kids. So you said right now the most important things in life are your children, repairing that relationship, and not even so much materialistic. What else is the most important in your life right now?
Right now, is just, man, I think sharing and being able to teach others, those that I love around me, as much as I can in regards to just living a free life. And by that I mean, like, again, like what we were saying, like not being attached to material items, to jobs, to relationships, just to enjoy the life that we have, because that's what God really wants. God, it's in the Word. It says He wants us to have life and life more abundantly, not stressed, not, not like this, not like that. He wants us to be blessed, and I believe we are blessed. It's how we look at things and how we, the vibes that we put out, the energy that we put out, the mindset,
The life that you chose, being incarcerated, and I'm sure that, you being shot at, being, having the house shot up, things of that nature. And was there ever a time that, that you were ever in danger of losing your life, Karna?
Oh yeah, man, a couple of times.
A couple of times.
Definitely.
Describe one to me.
Man, I never got shot or stabbed,
Yeah.
Thank God. Close to it, but nah, never. This one time we got jumped, we got ambushed. We were in a VW van, and it was all like glass. And one of the homies got down. He was in the store, and these dudes saw us. And the first dude ran up, and it's like the sliding glass door, right? And so it was 1, 2, 3, 4 of my friends, and they were all heavy set boys, man. They were all 200 pounds plus. and it was me and another homie that were normal, like 150 pounds at that time. And so he drops the first dude, but then they surround the van and start doing rocks. And so all this glass is shattering. So everybody gets in the middle and lays down. And I'm on the bottom of 4 or 5
these-
bottles, bro. And glass is coming in. And these fools are trying to get us. They're throwing rocks. Oh, the homies came out messed up. I got protected, but I couldn't breathe. I thought I was going to die. I mean, not literally, you know, they got off of me. But also they protected me. They took all the hits. Like the homie, they busted his head open with a rock. The other homie, I think they did stab him through the window. Like that was one of the only times that the enemy kind of had got us like that. And if I would have been either
On top.
on the outside, then either those dudes probably would have got to me, or I don't know. But and then that time I got shot at. You know, the guy. They were in a truck. He shot at us with the rifle, bro. We were in a car, and then he just started taking shots at. But he was a bad shot. He was hitting like everywhere else. But just the fact that I got shot at, that's what made me upset. I really wasn't. Other than that, bro, I can't really say I was in anything too critical where I was
Really
injured and almost, you know, dying or anything like that. No.
The life that you chose, would you want it for your son?
No, not at all.
Why not? Kana, if you chose it.
Here's the way I look at that. I wouldn't encourage it, but you know, at the end of the day, every person has, you know, their own decisions to make, and you know, you could be whoever you are and still conduct yourself honorably and do things the right way, even though people might consider being a gang member like what, like something wrong. But when we don't see ourselves that way, or you know, we know we're gang members, but we're not out. It's not like there's a difference between being in the street gang banging and then being somewhere where you were from at a point in your life, and that's just it. It doesn't mean that, you know, the way you conduct yourself doesn't change. And that's what I'm saying. Like you could there's successful people that come from barrios as yourself, and that's why, you know, we're here, you know. But I think that there's a smarter way to do things in life. Being a gang member, you limit yourself, or being a part of any set organization, you limit yourself as far as your access. And that's one thing I did learn later in life, like, oh, you know, you can't deal with them because they're from here, or you can't go over there. And so I think, man, if I wasn't from anywhere, I could deal with everybody.
Yeah.
And then I'd look at I'd be like, hey, you were the smarter vato, bro. Like some of the guys, like, you made the smarter decision, because not that you can't make it, you can always make it in life, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
But you have more limits. So the less limits that you have, the easier it is to obtain these things.
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more. You know, when what he was saying is, you know, when you decide to join a barrio neighborhood, it's like, man, okay, now I can't associate with this person. I can't associate with this person. You know, you worry about your surroundings. Nowadays, do you still watch your surroundings?
Of course, man. I'm hyper vigilant. Definitely, always. I believe I've always been that way. But especially, man, to me, that's something that you learn as a gangbanger, man.
As
you
a
know,
gang member, of
because
course.
that's something that, you know, your enemies. Some enemies, to me, again, man, people conduct themselves differently. I've always, you know, never been a fan of jumping people or what do you call that, dope fiending somebody, you know, catching them. But hey, you know, it just depends where you're at and in the situation. But yeah, if you don't watch yourself, watch your surroundings. Mainly now, though, it's funny, but now, even though I don't do anything illegal, I still am hyper vigilant for the law. And
Of course.
and then just for anything in general, you know.
A lot of homeboys that I've interviewed, they suffer from PTSD. You know I suffer from PTSD, and some of them are like really major. Some of them are like mine is not that bad, you know. But would you say you suffer from it, or are you good?
Nah, yeah, I definitely, man, I would say for sure.
You know, it's crazy because the life that homeboy lives, it's like the choices that they make, things that they see. It's like at nighttime, you're like, man, you know, you're constantly, you know, like, man, it's just what's going on. Sometimes, you know, we do things and it's like, man, your mind tends to run, you know, because of the life that homeboy has chose to live.
Yeah.
If you could go back in time and speak to your younger self, what would you tell yourself, Gordon?
Probably to speak less and listen more. And listen to, just listen a lot more to the advice that was given to me by my elders.
That's heavy, Karnat. Speak less and listen more. It's words of wisdom right there, gente. So now today, do you do a show? You're really involved with Bulldogs.
Yeah, American Bullies.
American
Bulldogs.
Bullies.
Yeah.
What do you do with talk to the audience? You know, what exactly do you do?
So when I was, I'll condense the story, but yeah, basically when I was able to have a dog again as an adult, I got a dog, and then my coworker, Mel, he turned me on to paper dogs, and then I looked at the pedigree and I seen titles, and I was like, man, I want a champion, you know what I mean? I want to be. So then I started going to dog shows, and then I got involved, and we started the American Bully movement, which is mainly like the blue pits, you know, when they first came out. And then in doing that and in showing, I became a judge, and so I've been not only showing but judging dog shows for the last 15 years, traveling, so I breed them too. But yeah, I get to travel. I'll be going to. I got to get my passport ID situated, but if I do that in the next 2 weeks, I'll be in Cape Town, South Africa.
Cape Town, South Africa.
Yeah.
So think about that. You get to travel the world. That's amazing. I've never been to Cape Town, South Africa. You know, that's congratulations, Karnan. I'm proud of you, homie. I'm proud of you. Serio, you know, that's awesome. So you breed dogs a little bit or not that much? I mean, you're mostly doing the judging and traveling.
Yeah, I most of the dogs that I have passed away from age, because you know I've been doing it for a long time. So, I had Chuck live till 15. Most of my big dogs live to be 12 or older, and I've had some live up to 16, 17 years old. Both dogs that I produced that you know had good quality dogs that went to good homes. You know, I appreciate everybody who's gotten a dog from me, and. So now, like with Popcorn, that's the granddaughter to Bear. So I have a tattoo of Bear.
Oh, right on.
I produced her dad, and then I produced her. So she's not just a dog. Like to her, she's really special to me, you know. And then the little one I just got, that's my new male. So yeah, I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna start producing, but I don't do it. I don't do any of this for the money, man. I do it because I love it.
Because you love it.
The money just comes.
The money comes.
Yeah.
Wow, Karnak, congratulations, man. You know what? It makes me feel good when I see a homeboy, you know, turn their life around, because you know you've been in the muck, you've been in the mire, you know, have people try to kill you, you've been incarcerated, you've lost homeboys, you know. And now you're a bully judge, that's awesome, man. We really do, you know, commend you. Where can they find you, Karnan? Social media, Karnan. Where can, you know, the audience find you? Where, you know, so they could give you a follow and support this man. You guys have any shows coming up, by the way?
Yes.
Besides the one in Cape Town? Or?
Yeah, there's Cape Town. Now locally, we just had the one in San Diego. We had one in Tijuana, San Diego, and then Mexicali last week.
Wow, 3 of them.
Yeah, 3 in a row.
He's doing it big.
Yeah, we're making a comeback over here. We've been having shows, so I judge now mainly for the International Bully Kennel Club, which is the IBKC. So, and then also the WBN, which is the World Bully Network. We're gonna, it's already up. It's on Roku TV and online. You can register. Well, I'll be doing more with that. So we'll be doing interviews also and filming and stuff like that. But Yeah, bro, it's allowed me to, man, go to Hawaii and make friends in Hawaii, go
That's
to
awesome.
all over Mexico. And you know what I love too, bro, just the fact that, you know, like I was sharing with you on the phone, you know, before it was always, I believe, you know, it was looked down upon as to be a homie or to be a cholo, but you know, it's like everybody knows now, dog. They know what's up, bro. You know, and that's one thing that I trip because there's fools who switched it up along the lines, and it's cool, you know, to each his own. But I've just never felt comfortable dressing or looking any other way, bro. You know,
Exactly.
It is what it is. I'm proud to be a cholo, man, and I'm here for my people, and I believe that's
right,
what we
homie.
really are. We represent the warriors of our culture, of the raza, and that's our job, man. You know, whether you bang or not, you should conduct yourself with respect. We're the royalty of like you have, bro, the what? Chicano king, right?
Yeah.
Chicano queen.
Thank you, Carnal.
Because
We are.
you know, if you're a homie, you should conduct yourself as such, as you know, as a king. You know,
Exactly, because we are.
That's right.
You know, people don't. What he was referring to is I have a clothing line called Chicano King and Chicano Queen, and that's what we are. You know, gente. We're royalty. If we look at where we come from, if people actually do a little bit of studying, and they see the Aztecs, they see, you know, if you go to Mexico and you go to all the Aztec ruins, we're royalty, homie. And people don't understand that. So you are, Kana. Each one of us are. We have royal blood in us.
That's right.
And we're blessed. And exactly, we should conduct ourselves. And that's one thing that I love about our race, our gente. We conduct ourselves with the most respect. Everybody trips out. You know, I was in Florida and I went to someone's house. And when I went there, I shook everybody's hand and I told the owner of the home, I want to thank you for allowing me in your home. I appreciate it. They looked at me sideways like, what's up with this vato? But that's how we know, homie. We know respect. We come with respect, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I think sometimes we tend to, you know, I'll just be real. Sometimes we get upset because when we don't feel that same respect back, we get like, "Orale, what's up with this vato? You know, what's going on with this vato? Or, you know, why, you know," and then we get mad almost because, you know, it's just who we are. You're right. We should conduct ourselves with the highest respect, or not. And, you know, sometimes we don't do that, and sometimes we got to get a little cachetada at home, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But, man, Carnal, I truly, truly appreciate you being here, homie. And you haven't gave your social media outlet. Please do that.
So you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook under Southtown SD, and on YouTube also. I have a YouTube channel. It's Southtown SD, and then Southtown Pits. That's my original one that I had like 16 years ago. Southtown SD on social media.
Give him a follow, gente. Support this man. You know what? He's a good camarada. Support him. Follow him. And thank you, gente. Gracias for being a part, homie. Only respect, homie. God bless you and your familia. Thank you for being a part of the show. This is Barrio Driven.